It's a beautiful morning. I'm out here finishing up my project, and I'm going to show you how to wire up an irrigation zone valve. So let's check this out. Here's my box, and what you see is each zone valve, 1, 2, 3, I've got 3 in this complex, has 2 wires. It doesn't really matter the orientation of the wires, you're just sending power through them, but one needs to be connected to our common, which is this white wire. I ran a 14 gauge common because there's a long run on this project, and then the other will be connected to our wire for each zone, and there's 13 wires inside here, so we're going to open that up and we're going to get it all put together. I'm going to go ahead and open that. Okay, so I got everything stripped out, and I've got 3 wires here that I've selected to be my wires for each zone. And then here is our common, and what you can do is you can take a common, so one of the wires from each of the 3 zones, and you can run them all together with your common wire. So we'll have 4 wires in there. Then I'm going to have a little pigtail that I made that I'm going to run between this so we can continue our common run. For those bigger connections, I'm going to use a heat shrink. You don't have to do that, but I like these. They've got dielectric grease inside of the wire nut, and then I can use my heat shrink gun. So I'll show you how to wire that up real quick. Alright, so I got my common wire wired up, and again, got 3 wires, 1 from each zone. And I'm going to go ahead and heat shrink these down. Again, you don't have to do that, you can just use a wire nut, but I like it. You can see just this morning there's a little moisture on top of the valves. That is just from dew, and it just came down the side of the box. So we'll just take our little heat gun, Alright, we got that part wired up. Now I'm going to take one from each zone, and I'm going to use these little twist-ons. They're not heat shrink, but they do have dielectric grease inside of them, and I'm going to assign them to each zone color. So let's just do brown for this one. It's really handy to have a set of wire strippers if you got them, save you a bunch of time. It's easy as that. Twist them together, get you a cap. I make sure and twist it the same way I'm going to be twisting these threads on. That way it doesn't jumble up your wire inside there really bad. Get it till it's kind of snug. I think we're good there. Okay, got two more to do real quick. Go ahead and strip both of these. Try to clean the dirt off of them best you can. Can be a mess sometimes. Just have a better connection that way. Okay. And last one. Okay, and it's important to note too, once you got it all wired up, that you take something like this. I made a cheat sheet, and I'm going to go ahead and write what zones are what color. So when I go back to assign to the box, I've got my sheet and I know exactly what I'm assigning to what, and you don't have to just guess. Alright, that's it. That's how I wire up a irrigation control valve.